Oh yeah, what is going on? We are back. We are back again. How are you? What's been going on? How was your week? How you feeling? How you doing? Are you in control? Are you in control? Are you good? Are you happy? Are you making progress? So we're talking about a good amount of things this evening, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited because I did something today that I didn't think I would ever do. I didn't think that I would ever go live twice in a day. So this is actually the second live of the day. Can you believe it? This is the second live of today. This afternoon I went live for a little afternoon check-in. That was fun. It was a spur of the moment thing. I just wanted to see what would happen, what it was like to go live on YouTube using my phone, a vertical live session, and I enjoyed it. It was good. It was really good. It was really good. I enjoyed it. So what have you been up to? What have you guys been up to? What have you been doing? What's new? What's good? What's good in your hood? Oh man. You'll have to let me know what you thought about the thumbnail as well. So if you're watching it live, let me know what you think. If you're watching this after the live, let me know what you think as well. What do you think of that thumbnail? Because it took me a while. I had my most esteemed partner in crime, partner in life, taking pictures. Took so many pictures. And I think she got fed up, but she still did it anyway. I'm grateful. Thanks, babe. So let me know what you think of the thumbnails. Artistic masterpiece. You're the masterpiece, babe. February, innit? Month of love. Oh my gosh, babe. So Wednesday. So we're talking about community, right? So the live has started. The tunes are flowing. I've got my tea. I've got some special tea today. I need to stop moving my table. Is it special tea? Well, it kind of is. I've not tried it before. I have no idea what it tastes like. But this tea, you see the steam, it is really hot. And I don't like drinking my tea too hot. But this is cherry, peach, and what's the word I can't say? What's the tea that I can't say? That South African tea. Rooibos? I don't know. Let me look it up so I can say it properly. Let's see, how do you pronounce it? Let's see, pronunciation. Let's listen to that. Rooibos. So it's rooibos and cherry and peach, and it smells really good. It smells better than I thought it would have. I'm definitely smelling the peach, and I'm definitely smelling the cherry and the rooibos. Shall we have a sip? Do you have your tea? Did you make some tea? Are you having tea? You got tea? No? It's just me? So you're just watching me drink some tea? It's flavoursome and light. I don't know how we're supposed to describe tea, but that's flavoursome and it's light. It's not harsh. It's not acidic. It's smooth. It's nice. So we are talking about community. I had a conversation with someone yesterday. I wonder if he's going to mind. Well, I won't say any names. Well, I won't say whether it's a he or she. But I was having a conversation with someone yesterday. And the conversation was about how someone came to their house to do some work. And this person who was doing some work got a little bit too familiar. Or it could have felt a little bit too familiar, but it was okay, kind of, right? So basically, they had someone doing some work and they're having a conversation, and the person who came to work said they offered to pray for the couple, which is like they're both people of the same faith. They're both Christians. They're both believers. So it wasn't really a big deal. But we were having this conversation about some people being too familiar because they feel like they are part of your community or they are a part of your community. And I said, you know what? Even though that might feel like it's a little bit too familiar when you don't really know the person, the truth is that quite often that sort of familiarity, I mean, it's different if someone's nosy, right? But that kind of familiarity actually comes from a place of love and care. So they feel like they're part of your community, they care about you, which is why they're offering up these well wishes and the prayers in this case. And my perspective was, it's actually really beautiful that someone can come and do some work. Is it unprofessional? Some might say that it is, but if you're part of the community and you recognize each other as part of this community, is it still unprofessional, or is it like something that your community does, right? So my perspective was that it's a beautiful thing that someone cares enough to go out of their way to give some advice and offer some sort of spiritual richness, like, to your life, right? I thought that was really nice. So that got me thinking about community and the importance of community and how we actually view community and what community actually is. I don't have all the answers. I'm hoping that you'd have some of the answers and we can discuss together. So listen, don't forget to like, subscribe and share if these conversations can be useful to someone. So definitely, I don't have all the answers for in terms of community, but I think I might have some answers, and it would be good if we can discuss these answers as well, you know, have a little bit of a dialogue. So the thing is as well, there's a few things, I suppose, but one of those things is that we all want to be successful in everything that we do, right? We all want to be successful in everything that we do. Who we are as people, personally, professionally, we want to be successful. We want to put our hands to something and see it do well. That's like a natural human trait. I've just noticed something. This is what happens when you have children. That clock were in my children's bedroom, and this little thing, teddy bear there, I don't know, what is that? What is that, some kind of fluffy toy? How it gets there, I have no idea. Anyway, all fun and games of being a parent. But yeah, that's so cute. You know, kids have this way of doing these little cute things, like putting stuff in places, and you remember them, and you look at them and you think, why did they do this? And it's quite entertaining, and sometimes, I think a lot of times, it helps to lessen the burden of life as well. So yeah, anyway, massive side note there. Yeah, so in terms of community, who are the people who will be on the journey with us? Who are the people? What do they look like? What do they talk like? What do they sound like? What kind of experiences have they had? Who are the people that we actually need in our lives to be successful, both personally in different aspects and professionally in different aspects? Who are those people? It's a good question to ask yourself. Who are the people? Who are my people? Who are my people? Where's my tribe? What's the community? What is it like being part of a community? So, obviously, I talk about, as you know, I talk about personal development quite a lot. And I'm always, there's a few things that I say quite a lot. Let me know if you're getting tired of it. Let me know if you're getting tired of it. Drop it in the comments. I'm tired of you talking about this. And if not, say, keep it going, Mr. Pemberton, keep it going. So I'm always talking about having a mentor and having some sort of guide, someone who can guide you on the journey, right? Who are some of the people that you can learn from? You know, who do you turn to when you need some sort of advice? Different types of advice. Finance advice, personal advice, marriage advice, parenting advice, just general advice in life. Thanking you. You know, who are these people? And actually identifying who these people are the beginnings of identifying who your community and that strong network is. Who's your tribe? And we really do need to identify who these people are. Who do we turn to when we need help? And who are the people that can turn to us when they need help? Who are those people? It's good to recognize those people. And having recognized those people, it's important to keep the conversation, keep the communication, keep the relationship going, whatever that looks like. Whether it's catching up for tea, coffee, a general chat, if it's someone you go to a sports match with, if it's just, I don't know, your kids have play dates. How do you keep that community aspect going? Especially now in this digital age where we're so reliant on our devices, our computers, our iPads and tablets and phones. We spend so much time on our phones and our devices, and the detriment of that in a lot of cases is that we end up feeling quite lonely when we don't really need to feel lonely, you know? So it's really important to remember what's important, isn't it? I feel like that was some bars there. So, speaking about mentorship and guidance, it's really good to get the wisdom from the elders. It's really good to get some wisdom from our elders. Now, there's some people, there's some elders that you probably don't want to take their wisdom, right? And that's okay. You know, there's some people that you might not want to take advice from, and that's okay. However, there's stories, if it's not someone who's wise and they've not learned from their mistakes, or maybe I don't know, whatever it is, whatever the reason is why you might not want to take advice from someone who's from an elder, the stories are so valuable. The stories are really, really valuable. I've heard some stories from some individuals who weren't really sharing wisdom with me. They were just telling stories, and I didn't know them that well. And actually, our paths would have crossed in a really strange way, in the sense that then they're not part of my community. But the stories that they told and the outcome of those stories, I was able to draw some wisdom from those stories. Even though this person didn't come across as wise, they came across as like someone who's wild. But even in that, there's something to learn from everyone, right? So we might not take advice from everyone, but the stories that they tell of their lives, something that they've learned, something that happened to them, you can draw some wisdom from that. And I think it's really important, because actually sometimes when we're young, when we're 20s, 30s, teenagers, we might not think that we have anything in common with the older generation, because they're like 50 years older. That's 2 generations. There's 2 generations older. But they would have gone through what you went through in some sense, in whatever age you are at. And it's really good to learn from their story, to see what they did, and see if you can, you can learn, you can draw from that and make up your own mind about how you want to conduct yourself and how you want to do stuff, if you want to do it differently. Or you might say, actually, based on what this person said, I know that whatever decision I'm about to make, I'm not going this way, I'm going that way. Right? So it's important to hear these stories, both the stories of success and both the stories of failure, and stories of how people learnt as well. And these things are what makes a community. You have the older people who said, like, back in my day, this is what happened, So one of the things from people from the Caribbean and Africa as well did. So the people from the Caribbean got this from people from Africa, because the people from the Caribbean were from Africa. Anyway, there's something called Partner, right? And that was quite popular. You guys know about Partner, I'm sure you do. It's been all over the news sometimes. A lot of people talk about this in terms of the Windrush generation here in the UK. I don't like calling them I'm going off now, but I don't like calling them the Windrush generation, because I don't think that these people that came to the UK from Jamaica in particular and the Caribbean in the 50s and 60s, I don't think that generation should be named after a boat. I don't know. Anyway, that's just my thing. So yeah, where was I even going? Where was I going with this? I have no idea where I was going with this. But it's important to take wisdom from the older generation, right? Older generation have some learning, some things that some experiences they might have had that we don't have to go through, because they've been through it, and they can tell you, if you stay on this path, this is what's going to happen. Or if they don't tell you that, their stories will tell you that. Right? Is that making sense? Am I making any sense? I might have to do another a different live about labeling, actually, because I have this theory, and I've not done a huge amount of research. I've not written a paper about it. It's just like an idea in my head. And the idea is that whatever you label, you own. Whatever you label, you own. Think about that. Whatever you label, you own. Might not necessarily be fair, but you label it, you call it something, you've given it a name, it is kind of yours, right? So I think that's where my kind of take on the whole Windrush stuff is coming from. So one question, and I've made some notes today. I'm a little bit more prepared. Who is your mentor, or who are your mentors? Who are the people that you turn to for specific advice? Who are the people that you turn to for specific advice? Who are some of the people that you can have a conversation with about specific things that will help you to move the needle forward, that will help you to get closer to your goal, that will help you to understand something a little bit better, that will help you to feel better, feel a bit more confident? Who are those people that you turn to? Those people, it's important to actually identify them. Intentionally identify the people that are in your tribe. Like if you were in an old school tribe from a remote area, the tribe leader is the king, right? They're in charge, they look after you, they make sure that you're watered, fed, and all that kind of stuff, right? And you've got your spiritual guidance and all that kind of stuff as well. And then they're the elders, the people who've lived through stuff, so they can give you some, they can give you some good advice. Someone was telling me the other day that there's a particular place in the world that you can go to, and you might go and speak to the chief or the king of that village or that tribe, and you might say, I want to do this over here, over there. And you would go in, you can potentially go in and say, I'm going to build something over here. And they'll say, okay, great. You bought it, go for it. And there's all this knowledge and wisdom in some of these villages that people who are not from there would actually take for granted or wouldn't even think to ask about. So you would go in and you start building, but at a certain time of year, it's not a good idea to build in this area because there's flooding in this area. And unless you ask for advice, unless you seek out the wisdom of these people, they won't tell you nothing, and they'll just watch you and just wait for you to come to them for advice. And I think that's quite interesting, because there's one side where it's like, why don't you tell me? And then the other side is that it's not their culture to get involved with your business. Do you know, if you come for advice, they'll tell you, but they're not going to come over and say, hey, you should do this or do that. But you know, because there's that assumption that you know what you're doing, and they'll just wait and see what happens. I thought that was really interesting. So yeah, who are the people? Who are the people that you turn to? Who are the people that you talk to? Who are the people? When do you talk to them? Do you need to talk to them at night, in the morning, in the evening? When's the best time? When's the best time? So there's this thing about community. So we've mentioned the mentorship and guidance, right? And the other thing about a community is that a community is caring. A community is caring. Another thing that I always talk about is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And we need to be loved, and we need to feel loved and cared for. That's actually quite important, that we feel loved and cared for. So the question is, who do you care about? Who do you care about? Who are the people that you care about? And then also, so who do you care about? And then also, who cares about you? Who do you care about? And who cares about you? And it's important to show that you care. Now, how you show someone that you care might not be the way they're expecting to be shown that they cared and love. Ooh. You know, there's this thing about love language. Love languages, and knowing someone's love language. And if you can speak their love language or operate in their love language, you can have a good relationship. I said this to someone the other day. I met someone at like a business event, a expo, marketplace kind of thing. And I was saying, do you know your clients, your potential customers' love language? Like your ideal customer. So there's this thing, if you don't know, there's this thing like in business, right? You have your ideal customer. What does your ideal customer look like? You might have an avatar. You might describe them quite well. So it might be male of a certain age with a certain background. Maybe they like certain things. Maybe they go out. Maybe they have a favorite football team or whatever it is. There's like a lot of information about who this ideal person is, the perfect customer. And I said to this person, do you know your ideal customer's love language? Because if you're trying to attract someone to your business and you want to work with them and you want to help them, you care about them, you want them to be a part of your community, a part of your tribe, you have to speak the right language to them. And I think a lot of time in business, we actually don't know the love language of our ideal customer. Could be more than one, I suppose. Or if you don't know, have you created content? Have you created messaging and communications that appeals to all four love languages? Ooh, I might have to take this video down because that's a gem right there. I might have to take that down, you know, give out some of my secrets. Right? So it's important to show care and the right care, and it's important that we know how to show the person that we care about and love them. Yes. What I've found actually is that when you care about someone, when you care about something, you go above and beyond. You go above and beyond to show the care. You go, well, not even just to show it, you just do stuff because you care. You want to see a project go well. You want to see someone do well. So you go above and beyond. And sometimes you're going to be the one to put in most of the effort. There are just some times that you're going to have to be the one that puts in more effort. And there are other times that you're going to be the main benefactor of the relationship. That's just how it is sometimes, isn't it? And sometimes it might feel like the other person doesn't appreciate you, but they might not know that they need to show that appreciation, right? And maybe whatever your relationship or friendship is like, they might just need you to be that person to show them that love and that care. And sometimes you might just need to be that person that receives as well. And that's a community. It's give and take, isn't it? It's give and take. I give, you give, we give together. That's about it, isn't it? I give, you give, we give together. Yeah. So I'm actually a part of a few communities, and there's like these pockets, right? There's like these pockets, and some people have never met each other. So I've been practicing my public speaking. So there's a community for public speaking, which I meet up with regularly, and they help me to improve my public speaking, how I present myself, and I help them as well. So having joined this tribe, where I practice my public speaking, I'm the person who benefits the most in a lot of cases, because I'm getting lots of feedback. How was it? How was the speech? How did it go? Right? What could I do to improve? And in some cases, I get no feedback because I'm the person that's given the feedback. Right? So that's one community that I'm a part of. The other community that I'm a part of is a mastermind. So we meet regularly, we have conversations around business. How are we getting on? We push each other. We push each other on sales, on marketing, on operations, and making sure that we are functioning as the CEOs and the business owners that we want to be in the future. The public speaking people and the mastermind people have never met, right? But in some ways they know about each other. And because our specific needs are met within each community, there isn't a kind of like, oh, you're with them lot again, you know, you're hanging out with those people again. And then I'm a part of another community, which is my church family. Well, multiple churches actually, because I've got lots of friends from different churches and I do different stuff at different churches. So there's like a spiritual community, and that spiritual community, again, some of them have never met. Some's here, some's abroad. And it's really beautiful actually that I've got these different communities that I can recognize and say, actually, when I need XYZ, I can call on these people. And it's also really beautiful that I can be of some value to these people by bringing whatever I have to the table. And another important community is family and friends. Family and friends. So we got family and friends, right? But then also other families, other young families that have children around a similar age that we do, right? So I can have a conversation about parenting with my church people, with my mastermind people, and with my public speaking people. But the conversations I have around family life and being a parent with the other young family members is completely different, because sometimes it's like, oh, kids do this stuff and they do that, and it's like, isn't that frustrating? Isn't that annoying? But if I was to say that to my public speaking family, my public speaking friends who have no idea what it's like to be a parent, it's going to be like, why are you banging about your kids? We're here to talk about improving our lives as public speakers. Do you know? So being able to have a diverse community, well, not just a diverse community, how can I put this? a different set of diverse groups. I don't know, I'm messing that up, but different communities that you can tap into depending on what you're going through in your life is like super important. It's like really cool. It's really cool to have. And actually, I appreciate all of these people. And I think I could be a little bit more intentional. Well, I always say I appreciate the conversations and feedback and stuff like that, but I think I can go a little bit extra now and allow us to appreciate each other a little bit more. I'll be honest though, I was speaking about love languages earlier, and I don't know what everyone's love language is. I don't know if everyone's love language is. If you're just joining in, we're talking about community and the importance of it. And some of the questions that we're asking is, who's your community? Who's in your community? Right? And remembering that caring and showing that you care is really important. Right? So, time for two big questions. Does your community or your tribe know you well enough and know what you need to do to be successful? Does your community or your tribe know you well enough? And do they know what you need to do to be successful? And the same question is, do you know the members of your community well enough to know what they need to be, what they need to do, and who they need to be successful? And the second question is, do you know how to properly support members of your community? Do you know how to properly support members of your community? If the answer is no, there's a few things you can do to find out. You can Google it. You can ask ChatGPT, watch some videos on YouTube, how to support XYZ. You know, get some ideas around it. Maybe how to understand the person. Maybe know when to talk and when not to talk, right? So yeah. So all in all, we've had a great conversation so far, and we know that community is important. Communities save lives. But also your community, the type of community that you're a part of, the things that you do regularly, the habits you form with other people can make or break you. The habits you form with other people, the community you have, the people you associate yourselves with can make or break you. Important to remember that. And having a community, the right community, it's a choice. It's a choice. And we have the choice to extract ourselves for a period of time or indefinitely, and we have the choice to be a bit more intentional in how we build those relationships as well. So yeah, incidentally, the tea's almost finished. It's been great to speak to you this evening. It's been great to have you here. If you're watching after, let me know what you think in the comments. What are some of the important things about community that you've identified? How can we help each other to be stronger? How can we help each other to be better? How can we help each other to be more successful? Jump in the comments, let's have a conversation. Remember to like, subscribe, and to share with someone who might find this useful. Once again, it's been amazing to have you on board. It's been great to have you in the comments. Peace, love, have the best of sleeps. See you next week, or whenever I pop up during the week next time. And I wish you every success. I wish you all the best. I hope and I sincerely pray that you will be successful. You will get the things that you desire. Peace. God bless. See you next time.